Okay, so now the next step is to prepare for creating the variables that we are going to be analyzing. And so, or better said, we're going to take the measures and condense them into a single variable. So I'm looking here at the tab that says variable view, and for example, all 8 of these variables pertain to a single concept. That is the extent to which the person forms connections with brands. All right. Right here, for example, we have another one down at the bottom that is a single measure. The need for uniqueness, so 1 through 9, that's a single measure. Product involvement, this is another single measure. We have self-esteem down here, that's a single measure. So what I'm going to do right here is, first we're going to prepare the measure for the self-brand connections. So first we're going to go to Analyze, Data Reduction, Factor, and we're going to bring over these 8 variables. Under Rotation, we're going to click Varimax and continue. For options, we're going to click Sorted by Size and continue. And then we're going to hit OK. And what this is going to show us is the pattern of correlation between those variables. Now, all of those variables were designed to pinpoint the person's tendency to form connections with brands. And so the factor analysis is going to tell us how well did the scale do that, by telling us, did all of the variables in that scale measure one unique concept, which is what we expect it to do. So this matrix right here, the component matrix, tells us that all of the variables were well correlated enough that it looks like they all measured just one concept, which is what we wanted. The rotation, that was where I had you to put Varimax. That just kind of looks at the variables from a different angle, looks at the correlations from a different angle. But it wasn't necessary here because it all loaded nicely on just one concept, which we assume to be, this self-brand connection concept. So with this, we can now compute the measure. So we go to Transform, Compute Variable, and we give it a name. So we're just going to call it, we're going to use the same label, and we're just going to call it total. So we know that that's the summation of the individual variables. And so what we're going to do is we're going to compute the average. Okay. So we have 8 variables here. So we're going to create the numeric expression. We're going to enter that one, plus sign, this plus, that plus. Okay, and then the division sign and divide by 8. So this gives us the average of all of these. And before we hit OK, what we're actually going to do is we're going to click on Paste. And what that does is it creates another little file with the code for that, for conducting this computation. And I like to save these because later on, sometimes we want to double check to make sure that we computed a concept correctly, that we used the average, or just to make sure that everything's in place. So I'm going to save this in the same folder where the data set is. And I'm going to call it Avatar Study 1A Measures. Okay, save. And so then I just highlight this here and click this little button that looks like the play button. That's to run this particular analysis or this particular function. So it tells me here that it's been done. So now I'm going to look on the data set and looking at the variable view. I see right there that my variable has been created. One other thing, taking a few steps back here, this is very important to do. For the two categorical variables that we created when we divided up the male condition and the female condition, we're going to want to label these and gender. So let's go to gender first. We go to values, and this is where we're going to tell the program what each number represents. So for gender, the number 1 represents male, and the number 2 represents female. Okay, so we're going to hit OK. And so that way when we run an analysis with these variables, it'll actually tell us the names of the categories. So that'll make it even easier for us to analyze it. Okay, so now avatar values 0 meant no avatar, and 1 meant avatar. Oops, I'll make sure we hit add. Okay. And then for product category, we said that 0 meant the socks website, and 1 meant music. Okay. Excellent. All right, so now we have the measure we've computed. We've done the factor analysis. One last thing that we want to do, once we know that it's okay to compute the measure, and that's to get an estimation of how well the factors or the individual variables correlate with one another. And so we go right here to scale, reliability analysis, and we're going to put those same 8 variables. We can label the scale here so that the output prints out the name of the scale. All right. We'll go to statistics. We're going to ask for descriptives for the scale and for the scale if item deleted. We just like to have that information. We hit continue and then OK. And so here we have the information. So this is a correlation of 0.92 among all the items. So this means that all the items relate with one another very well. So this is a very good scale, a very strong scale. And this is just information that needs to be reported in articles. We need to report the mean of the scale and the standard deviation. So that's why we ask for this particular information. Okay. So this will just be something that you would report to me what the results were. And with the factor analysis, if you do run into a situation where you don't have, where there's supposed to be just one factor, but there turns out to be 2 or 3, then you would not go ahead and compute the measure. You would send me these results, and what we would probably have to do is compute the measure using just the items that were strongly correlated as a single variable. Okay.